Country superstars Kelly Clarkson and Reba McEntire were allegedly talking about doing a reality series prior to tragedy striking. They have appeared on Reba's self-titled show in the past and have a very close relationship. So, what would the focus of this show have been on? Keep reading for more details. Kelly Clarkson and Reba McEntire set for reality TV. American Idol winner Kelly Clarkson and Reba McEntire have a long history together. Kelly appeared on an episode of Reba, and they were both coaches on the hit NBC series, The Voice. To add to this, Reba was Kelly's mother-in-law for a brief time. She was married to Brandon Blackstock while Reba was wed to his father, so they had a familial connection. Unfortunately, Brandon just passed away after a 3-year cancer battle, which was kept hidden from fans and followers. It has caused Kelly to cut her Las Vegas residency short as she and Brandon share 2 children, Remy and River. However, Kelly had plans with Reba prior to divorcing Brandon and his passing away. Allegedly, the 2 ladies were set to star in a reality series together, or at least in the middle of chatting about this. The series was originally mentioned in 2019, and work was coming together on it. Since Reba was Kelly's former mother-in-law, the alleged idea was to do a Family Voice season. It would feature Kelly, Reba, Blake Shelton, and Gwen Stefani as coaches. Blake would have been essential, given that he is close to Kelly, and her late husband also managed his career. Additionally, Blake and Gwen were dating, so that made it a well-rounded and well-thought-out idea. Unfortunately, Kelly Clarkson's marriage to Brandon Blackstock went down in flames, as did the idea for the show with Reba. A source close to the situation had this to say about the premise: their relationships were all very overlapping. Those 4 are very intertwined and have genuine connections. But then Kelly began to go through her divorce and the dynamics got too messy, so it fizzled out. It would have been a fun season though. Reba was still incredibly close to the Blackstock family as well as Kelly. They all have great relationships, but for a reality series, it was not feasible. Big questions for Kelly. Kelly Clarkson is set to return to The Voice for season 29. Fans have demanded she come back, and love what she brings to the table. However, now that she has gone on hiatus due to her ex-husband's death, it is unclear what will happen to her seat. Reba McEntire will be there for the fall 2025 season, so she may step in if needed. At the same time, Kelly's season is billed Battle of Champions, so they may look to Blake as a filler. This is an incredibly sad time for everyone who knew and loved Brandon Blackstock. That one family season could have been a great core memory. Would you have liked to see Kelly Clarkson and Reba McEntire coaching together? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Kelly Clarkson and Reba McEntire, the reality show before the storm. A fictionalized, long-form narrative. Chapter 1. The Pitch. It started in a conference room with too much coffee and not enough oxygen. The walls of the Nashville network office were lined with framed posters of the kinds of shows that looked breezy on the surface but had been engineered within an inch of their lives. Cooking competitions with neatly edited disasters, road trip documentaries where the accidental detours were mapped 6 months in advance, and family docuseries with carefully curated squabbles. In the center of it all sat Kelly Clarkson, her mug of tea steaming beside her, and Reba McEntire, leaning back in her chair with a kind of casual authority that made executives speak 2 octaves higher than normal. They weren't there by accident. The network's head of programming, Evan Porter, had been chasing the idea for over a year. Pair the reigning queen of daytime charm with the legendary red-headed matriarch of country music in a reality series that would blur the line between mentor and partner. Viewers would get an unfiltered look at their friendship, the music, and the chaos that follows 2 women who had both survived and thrived in an industry that eats its young. Evan's pitch was smooth. We're talking road trips, songwriting challenges, mentoring up-and-coming artists, revisiting hometowns. America loves you individually. Together, that's lightning in a bottle. Kelly smiled, the kind of smile that said she was game but already calculating whether she could do it without appending her kid's school schedule. Reba tilted her head, letting the silence stretch. In Nashville, that was its own negotiating tactic. Finally, Reba spoke. So you want the real thing. Not the scripted shiny mess that passes for reality these days. Evan nodded. Authenticity is the hook. You've both built careers on it. Kelly laughed. Careful what you wish for. They shook hands by the end of the meeting. Contracts would take weeks, lawyers even longer, but the seed had been planted. The working title was simple, almost rustic. Reba and Kelly, the real thing. Chapter 2. Chemistry on Camera. From the very first camera test, it was clear they had something producers couldn't fake. Kelly was pure kinetic energy, quick to laugh, quicker to veer off script. She had the charisma of someone who'd been in front of an audience since she was 19, but she wasn't interested in polishing her edges for television. If she wanted to eat barbecue in the middle of a shoot, she'd eat barbecue. If she wanted to stop a conversation to compliment a crew member's boots, she would. Reba was different. Not guarded exactly, but deliberate. She had learned in her decades of performing that the right pause could say more than any punchline. On set, she played the straight man to Kelly's infectious chaos, delivering dry one-liners that made the crew howl. Their chemistry was instant and unmanufactured. In one early shoot at a honky-tonk outside Tulsa, the cameras caught them in the middle of a playful argument about who could still do a full cartwheel. "I'll do it if you do it," Kelly challenged, barefoot on the sawdust floor. "Honey," Reba replied without missing a beat, "I've got investments older than you. I'm not risking a hip." The clip leaked to social media before post-production even started. It went viral overnight, giving the network a taste of the wildfire they were sitting on. Chapter 3. The Roadshow. By mid-spring, the production was in full swing. The plan was to follow them through 6 cities, each with a different theme. Hometown memories, food, music, mentoring, charity, and finally, a live joint concert. The pilot would open with a road trip from Nashville to Fort Worth, where they'd host a free outdoor performance. Everywhere they went, crowds gathered, not just fans, but entire families, people who'd grown up with Reba's songs and tuned in daily to Kelly's show. There was something about seeing them together in person that felt rare, like a crossover episode of your 2 favorite shows that you never thought would happen. The crew worked 12-hour days, filming everything from casual diner conversations to backstage rehearsals. And in those quiet moments, something unexpected started to happen. Kelly and Reba's friendship deepened. One night in Austin, after a long day of filming, they sat on the balcony of their hotel, guitars in hand. The cameras were supposed to be off, but a producer left one rolling.